Once upon a time, in a vast and ancient forest, there stood a mighty oak tree named Orlan. Orlan was no ordinary tree. He had lived for over 300 years, his roots stretching deep into the earth, his branches reaching high into the heavens. His bark was thick and weathered, marked with the scars of countless seasons. Orlan had seen it all: blistering summers, icy winters, gentle springs, and golden autumns. He was the guardian of the forest, a silent witness to the passage of time. But Orlan was not alone. For as long as he could remember, the wind had been his companion. The wind was a restless spirit, always moving, always changing. She danced through the forest, rustling leaves, bending grasses, and whispering secrets to the trees. She was wild and free, and though she could be gentle, she could also be fierce. The wind loved Orlan, though she would never admit it. She admired his strength, his steadfastness, and the way he stood tall no matter what storms came his way. And Orlan, though he rarely spoke, cherished the wind's company. She brought him news of the world beyond the forest, tales of mountains and rivers, deserts and seas. She was his connection to the wider world, and he loved her for it. But their relationship was not without its challenges. The argument. One day the wind came rushing into the forest, her voice sharp and impatient. "Orlan," she said, swirling around his branches, "why do you stay rooted in this one place? Don't you ever long to see the world, to feel the sun on your leaves in a distant land, or to drink the rain of a foreign sky?" Orlan sighed, his leaves trembling slightly. "I am a tree, Wind. My roots bind me to this place. I cannot wander as you do." "But don't you want to?" the wind pressed. "You're so strong, Orlan. If you tried, perhaps you could break free. Imagine the adventures we could have together. I could carry you to the highest mountains, the deepest valleys. You could see the world as I do." Orlan was silent for a long moment. Finally he said, "I do not envy your freedom, Wind. I have my own purpose here. My roots hold the soil together. My branches shelter the birds. My leaves give shade to the weary. If I were to leave, who would care for the forest?" The wind grew frustrated. "You're too stubborn, Orlan. You're wasting your life standing still. The world is so much bigger than this forest. Don't you want to live?" "I am living," Orlan replied calmly. "But my life is different from yours. You are the wind, and I am a tree. We are not the same." The wind howled in anger, shaking Orlan's branches. "You're a fool, Orlan. One day you'll regret staying here. One day you'll wish you had come with me." And with that, she swept away, leaving Orlan alone. The storm. For many days the wind did not return. Orlan missed her, but he did not call out to her. He knew the wind needed time to cool her temper. He waited patiently, as he always did. But then, one fateful evening, dark clouds gathered on the horizon. The air grew heavy, and the forest fell silent. Orlan knew what was coming: a storm, and a fierce one at that. The storm arrived with a vengeance. Rain lashed the forest, and lightning split the sky. The wind returned, but she was not the gentle companion Orlan knew. She was wild and furious, tearing through the trees with a strength that frightened even the mighty oak. "Wind!" Orlan called out, his voice deep and steady. "What are you doing? Why are you so angry?" The wind did not answer. She howled and roared, bending the smaller trees, snapping branches and ripping leaves from their stems. She was a force of nature, unstoppable and untamed. Orlan stood firm, his roots gripping the earth, his branches swaying but not breaking. He knew he had to protect the forest. The smaller trees looked to him for strength, and the animals huddled beneath his canopy for shelter. "Wind!" he called again. "Please calm yourself. You're hurting the forest." At last the wind slowed, her fury spent. She swirled around Orlan, her voice soft and sorrowful. "I'm sorry, Orlan," she whispered. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to hurt the forest. I was just so angry. Angry that you won't come with me. Angry that you don't understand." Orlan's voice was gentle. "I do understand, Wind. You want me to see the world as you do, but I cannot. My place is here, and that is not a bad thing." The wind sighed. "I just wish you could be free, Orlan. I wish you could feel what it's like to fly." The gift. The storm passed and the forest began to heal. The wind stayed away for a time, ashamed of the damage she had caused. But she could not stay away forever. She loved Orlan too much. When she returned, she was quiet and thoughtful. She circled Orlan's branches, her touch gentle. "I've been thinking," she said. "You're right, Orlan. You have your purpose and I have mine. But I still want to share my world with you, even if you can't leave this place." Orlan tilted his branches, curious. "How will you do that, wind?" The wind smiled, a soft breeze rustling his leaves. "Close your eyes, Orlan. Trust me." Orlan closed his eyes, and the wind began to blow. She carried with her the scents of distant lands, the salty tang of the ocean, the sweet perfume of a meadow in bloom, the sharp, clean air of a mountaintop. She whispered to him of the places she had seen, painting vivid pictures with her words. Orlan could almost feel the sun on his leaves, the rain on his bark, the cool mist of a waterfall. For the first time, Orlan felt as though he was flying. He could see the world through the wind's eyes, and it was beautiful. "Thank you, wind," he said, his voice full of gratitude. "You have given me a great gift." The wind laughed softly. "And you have given me one, Orlan. You've taught me that freedom isn't just about moving. It's about being true to yourself, no matter where you are." The lesson. From that day on, the wind and Orlan were closer than ever. The wind continued to roam the world, but she always returned to the forest to share her adventures with Orlan. And Orlan, in turn, stood tall and strong, a steadfast guardian of the forest, his heart full of the wonders the wind had shown him. They were different, the tree and the wind, but they had found a way to understand each other. And in their friendship, they discovered a truth that would last as long as the forest itself, that even the wildest spirit and the most rooted soul can find common ground if they are willing to listen and learn. And so, the tree and the wind lived on, their bond unbroken, their story a testament to the power of love, patience, and understanding. I hope you enjoyed the story.